Hi everyone, I'm Leanne and today we're going to be talking about recent and upcoming Irish book releases. So I'm not going to mention any of the books that I acquired recently, so anything that has come out recently and I've already got it on my shelves would have been mentioned in my recent haul video. So this is in addition to that. And I'm going to start with a little bit of catch up from February and March. So May All Your Skies Be Blue by Fiona Scarlett. This is the author of Boys Don't Cry, which was our group read for the Irish Readathon a few years ago. This one came out in hardback on the 13th of February, as did The City Changes Its Face by Emer McBride. This is another author that I have read from before. So Emer McBride wrote Girl is a Half-Formed Thing. She wrote The Lesser Bohemians and Strange Hotel. Both of those have been released in hardback. And then on the 6th of March, we had the paperback of The Amendments by Niamh Mulvey. You may have seen this one in hardback, or you may remember her short story collection, which was called Hearts and Bones. And I think this book really takes a look at themes of motherhood, specifically Irish motherhood. Now looking ahead to the future, coming out on the 3rd of April in hardback is Fair Play by Louise Hegarty, and this is a locked room mystery. Abigail and her brother Benjamin have always had a very close relationship, and to celebrate his birthday, Abigail hires out a grand house and invites their friends over to play a murder mystery game. But the game turns into reality when Benjamin ends up dead. Coming out on the 10th of April is Paper Dragons: The Rise of the Sand Spirit by Siobhan McDermott. So this is the follow-up to former Waterstones Children's Book of the Month, Paper Dragons: The Fight for the Hidden Realm. And then also coming out on the 7th of April is Fairy Hill by Marita Conlon McKenna. You may know this author best for Under the Hawthorn Tree, and this is a book that is set around Fairy Hill and 13-year-old Anna, who is sent to stay with her father and his new family in Fairy Hill in the west of Ireland. And here she begins to realise that maybe fairies are real after all. Then some young adult fiction coming out on the 17th of April. We have Matched Up by Jenny Ireland. So I've not actually read any Jenny Ireland before. She is the author of The First Move and The Boy Next Door. And coming next from her is a sports romance for young adults. I'm sure that Jenny Ireland is an author that I will get round to reading eventually, but I'd like to read her earlier books before getting to this new one. Back to adult fiction now. On the 24th of April, Ordinary Saints by Niamh Ní Mhólin is publishing, and this is an exploration of family, grief, queer identity, and the legacy of the Catholic Church in Ireland. So lots of themes that have played a role throughout the legacy of Irish fiction, and I am always really interested in analytical looks at the history of Catholicism in Ireland, and especially when it does intersect with other themes that I'm interested in, like queer identity. Coming out on that same day is Open Heaven by Sean Hewitt. This one is set over the course of the year and follows two teenage boys who transform one another's life. I think it's largely about the intensity of feeling and connection that you feel when experiencing some emotions for the first time at that stage of adolescence. I think Sean Hewitt has published poetry before, but this is his first novel. Then coming out on the 3rd of June is Eat the Ones You Love by Sarah Maria Griffin. So this is a story about workplace love affairs, but also about themes of like the monstrosity of working in retail and ideas of monstrosity more broadly. And I think this has kind of like monstrous, like gothic fantasy elements to it. Then coming out on the 5th of June is one of my most anticipated releases of the year, and that is Skip Shock by Caroline O'Donoghue. So I have loved all of this author's books, whether that is her adult fiction or her young adult fiction, and in this case it is the latter. It's a young adult sci-fi fantasy romance, so feels so unique to some of the stuff that Caroline has written previously, and I'm very excited to see what she does writing in a different genre. Staying with young adult, on the 4th of July, You Don't See Me by Chris Ricketts is coming out. This story is about Roz and Eddie and their teenage relationship, but more largely focused on Roz and their experiences of realizing that they are trans. So it's about Roz navigating that relationship in their adolescence, their experiences in school and with coming out. And I'm so pleased a story like this is being published by an Irish publisher in Little Island. More trans representation, please and thank you. And then finally, coming out on the 6th of November is Solace by Belinda McKeown. So this book has already been published, but this is a reissue. I know Belinda McKeown from her novel Tender, which I have mentioned quite a few times over the years of the readathon. It's one of my favourite books of all time, but I haven't read anything else from this author. So I'm very pleased to see that it's going to be reissued so I can get a nice new copy of it. So there we have it, a bit of a whistle-stop tour. This list is by no means exhaustive of everything that's coming out. These were just the ones that were most significantly on my radar, and there are lots of other creators who have made lists for the Irish Readathon and their upcoming releases, so do check out some more lists because there will inevitably be books on those lists that I haven't mentioned here. Do leave me a comment down below and let me know if you are also excited for any of these books, if you're looking forward to reading any of them. And as I said, I did do a haul recently that does contain some 2025 releases in it as well, so if you're looking for something else to watch after this one, do check that video out as well. That's it for me today. I hope you're well, and I'll speak to you in my next video.